Earth split open, swallowing the crops, and the warriors with it. Chief Azulu was watching from afar as he joined this convoy to come show Ozo how powerful he is. After seeing what just happened, he was scared, so scared that he let out a loud cry and fell to the ground. Immediately he became blind. I could not see anymore. In the quiet village of Namuli, where red earth kissed the feet of barefoot children and morning mist danced over farmlands, there lived a poor farmer named Ozo and his only child, Adaobi. They were not like the others. Where others' barns overflowed with yam and cassava, Ozo's land was barren. Where children wore bright wrappers and jingling beads, Adaobi wore patched skirts and old slippers. Yet, she walked with a grace, a kind of quiet dignity that made the elders nod in secret respect. Every morning Adaobi would rise with the sun. She would carry her hoe across her shoulder, a gourd of water by her side, and walk to the edge of their cursed farmland. For 10 years nothing had grown on it. The soil was dry, the wind sang of despair. But still father and daughter toiled, hoping, praying, planting seeds into dead ground. Many said the land was cursed. Others whispered that Ozo's ancestors had wronged a spirit, but neither Ozo nor Adaobi gave up. One day Adaobi carried a few small withered vegetables, barely enough for a meal, to the village market. She laid them on a small raffia mat, her eyes hopeful, her hands shaking. But the other girls laughed. "Is that what you came to sell, Adaobi? Rotten ugu and hungry fingers? Better go back to that useless land of yours." Adaobi smiled, but her heart was breaking. She quietly picked up her basket and walked home. That evening, as the sky turned orange and birds began to settle, Adaobi sat on the edge of the dry farm and wept. Tears rolled freely down her cheeks, not out of anger, but from years of trying, of hoping, of never giving up. Her tears fell into the earth, and then something happened. A soft rumble beneath her feet, a whisper of wind, and, before her eyes, a single green shoot pushed through the earth. Then another, and another. By morning the entire field shimmered with strange new crops, yams, golden maize, leaves glowing with dew like diamonds. Ozo ran through the field, eyes wide, mouth open. "Adaobi, my child, you did this." She shook her head, smiling through tears. "Papa, I only cried." The villagers gathered in disbelief. Some came to touch the plants, others came to accuse her of witchcraft. But the old village priestess, Mama Uchechi, simply said, "This is no curse. The land has only responded to a heart that never gave up." Shockingly, the crops were not ordinary. People started receiving healing once the by and of the product of their farm. The miracles started small. One old man, bedridden for weeks, ate of Adaobi's strange leaves and rose the next morning dancing. A child with a swollen belly drank soup from Adaobi's golden yam and was healed. This was shocking to even Adaobi. "Is this the work of the gods?" she asked her father that evening after receiving the news as the Sir in front of a fire eating at the backyard of their small hut. Soon word spread beyond Namuli. Traders came, chiefs sent messengers. The once mocked daughter of a poor farmer became a symbol of hope. Then came Chief Azulu, rich, proud, and feared by all. He arrived in a chariot drawn by 4 white horses, bearing gifts of coral beads, cola nuts, and 5 bags of cowries. He approached Ozo and said, "I want your daughter. Name your price." Ozo looked to Adaobi. She said nothing, only bowed her head politely. Ozo told the chief, "Please, your highness, give us time to think about this, and we will surely get back to you." With that, the chief and his convoys returned back to the palace. Later that night, as they were about to retire to bed, Ozo asked her again, "What do you think? Will you love to marry the chief?" And softly, Adaobi said, "Papa, I do not want to be bought." So the next morning, Ozo sent a messenger to the chief with the news. When the messenger got to palace, he delivered the message to the chief. This made Chief so angry that he stood up from his throne and shouted, "You dare reject me? A girl from a cursed land?" He stormed into his chambers very angry. Days later, sent his soldiers to go and get to seize Adaobi so he could forcefully marry her above her own will. But as they stepped onto the farmland, the ground began to shake vigorously. Their soldiers began to tremble. The next minute, the earth split open, swallowing the crops, and the warriors with it. Chief Zulu was watching from afar as he joined this convoy to come show Ozo how powerful he is. After seeing what just happened, he was scared, so scared that he let out a loud cry and fell to the ground. Immediately he became blind. I could not see anymore. On the other side of the hut, close to the farmland, stood Adaobi. Watching quietly, she could have laughed. She could have rejoiced. But instead, she walked barefoot across the now quiet land, kneeled beside the fallen chief, and prayed. She begged on his behalf in total humility as tears ran down her face. Her tears touched the earth once more. There was a soft tremble and the ground brought back the soldiers. And immediately, Chief Zulu's eyes were opened, though dim. He crawled toward Adaobi and wept. She whispered, "This land answers to love, not force. It only grows what is planted with peace." Years passed. Adaobi never married royalty. She built a school beside the farm. She fed the poor. She taught the children how to grow, not just food, but kindness. Her story traveled as a bushfire and was told in all the nearby and faraway villages. Strangers came from faraway lands to see the miracle farm of Namuli. And every planting season, when the first rain fell, Adaobi would walk into the field, barefoot. She would smile at the sky and say, "Let love grow again." And it did. So when next you see the golden yams or hear the wind sing through the leaves, remember Adaobi, the farmer's daughter whose tears fed the earth and whose heart healed a village.